The recipe I followed for this carbonara recipe comes from The Fine Art of Italian Cooking by Giuliano Bugialli. It's published quite some time ago. I just came back from a trip to Italy and I had carbonara a couple of times. It was made with only egg yolks, no whites. And the guanciale I use is this diced berretta. I don't use the piece, it looks like a shank. You can buy that in Italian specialty stores. I prefer this recipe. It's creamier. When I had it in Italy, I hate to say it, but it kind of stuck in my throat. It wasn't just creamy enough. It tasted great. And as we say in Italian, chi cambia la vecchia per la nuova sa che cambia, ma non sa che trova. The first time we had this dish was in Prata d'Ansidonia, little village in the Abruzzo region of Italy. And it was so delicious that we had it not only for the first course, but also for the second. And we probably would have also had it for dessert. And that's the recipe I'm trying to recreate here. Spaghetti alla carbonara begins with a sip of homemade wine, 4 ounces of either pancetta or guanciale. I prefer guanciale. I find it to be a little sweeter. I just tip the package over on the cutting board and I separate the pieces. I get all the fatty pieces like that out first, and I'm going to render the fat. While the fat renders out of these fatty pieces of guanciale, I prepare the garlic from the backyard, and it's a little bit of a pain in the neck to prepare because the pieces are small, the cloves are small, the garlic is juicy, so it sticks to your finger when you clean it, but it's well worth it. The taste is incredibly better than anything you can buy at the store. Over very low heat, all that fat has now rendered out, but you can't do it over high heat because it'll burn. So I'm going to discard those fatty pieces there because that's heart attack food, but I'm going to have a couple of pieces because they're so freaking tasty. Over very low heat now, I add the meatier pieces of guanciale. I don't put the garlic in just yet. I put a little bit of olive oil, pepper flakes, and pepper. And I'll let that fat render out before I add the garlic. I've never made this dish with bacon, but it can be done that way. During all this time, we're getting the water ready for the pasta, right? So the guanciale has browned a little bit. Now is the time to add the garlic. And while this is all happening, I'm preparing the grated cheese. And I'm going to use some nice fresh eggs from my brother who has chickens in his backyard. I videoed about them before in the drunken eggs recipe. The water is boiling and I'm going to use garofalo pasta spaghetti. I'm going to use this amount. It's enough. This recipe is enough for 3 people. 3 people. The garlic is not burning. We don't want that to happen. And the eggs look delicious. As my mom always used to say, don't let the garlic burn. The instructions on the pasta call for 10 minutes for al dente, but I only cook it for 8. The pasta will be cooked in a minute. So as soon as it's cooked, I'm going to put it in that bowl. Then I will add the guanciale and garlic, the oil and the fat that's in there. Mix it all up. Then I'll add the egg. And finally, I'll add the cheese. Now is the time to add a lot of black pepper. And if you lift this up, it shouldn't be too creamy at the bottom. Just enough to cover that pasta. Thanks for watching. Buon appetito.